Hi, welcome to live stream Yoga with Louise, tips and cues to keep you safe and strong on the mat. Today we are focusing on tapping and lifting motions to strengthen and tone. As always, play where you're comfortable, modify when you need to, rest when you need to. You ready? Let's hit the mat. We're going to find the halfway mark on our mat. Stand behind the halfway mark. Arms could be relaxed at your side, or you could place them on your hip creases. We're going to extend one leg out in front. Make sure that your leg is stepping directly in front of its corresponding hip. You're going to start with a soft toe tap, long reaching line through the toes. We're going to bend the knee and pull up through the lower abs into table and then tap back out 10 times, keeping as stable as you can through the trunk. We're going to end in the tapping motion. We're going to keep that leg long and extended, and we're going to do a small lift about mid-shin and tap back out. Using those lower abs to pull the leg up, so think zippering action, and then unzip to come down. End in the tapping motion and trace a quarter circle to the side of the room. Small little lift and lowering action for 10. End in the tapping motion. Use the big toe to trace quarter circle behind you. Slight lean forward if you need it. Small little lifting and lowering action. Think mini arabesque. Bring both legs back into parallel, shake them out, release your stabilizing leg if you need to. Let's rinse and repeat on the second side. Find your setup position and start to play with that knee draw, ending in a tap on the floor. End with the leg long and extended. Keep it long and find your little lifting pattern for 10. End in the tap. Trace a quarter circle to the side of the room and begin to lift. End in the tap, trace a quarter circle behind you and begin to lift. Bring your legs to parallel, shake them out. Place both hands on your hip creases. We're going to take a small pyramid step forward with one leg. We're going to fold forward into a long tabletop stretch through the neck and the spine and the legs. Peel back up and start to find an alternating pattern side to side. Make sure when you step forward into your pyramid line that you're stepping out and stacking right in front of your corresponding hip. Then take a nice long tabletop stretch through the neck and the spine as if you were trying to balance a fully laden tea tray on your back. Keep belly to spine throughout. Then find your way back to a parallel stand, arms relaxed at your side, and give yourself 3 roll down patterns. Nodding chin to chest, hollowing out your belly, rounding out your back, rolling up and down with control through the core. Find the contraction in your belly to peel you down, and then undo that contraction to restack, to realign. Then keeping the arms relaxed at your side, find that pyramid step once more. This time float the arms into an aeroplane line and then come back. Hold your pyramid aeroplane for maybe 2 to 3 seconds before you release. Come back to neutral and then step out on the second side. Let's do one more set. Let's find our way from here back into a roll down pattern, this time from the turnout position. So heels together, toes wide. The rest of the roll down pattern remains the same. You're going to feel a lot more wrap around into the inside and the outside of the legs. Find your way back to your parallel stand, arms relaxed at your side, and find your pyramid step with an aeroplane arm. Then begin to rotate towards the open side of your body, thinking T-stretch through the arms. Then bleed your way back to your stand and start to find an alternating pattern, side to side, for maybe 3 to 4 successive rounds, depending on your speed of execution. Look for balance, look for control. Make sure all 10 toes are looking to the front of the mat when you're in your little pyramid step. Let's do one more to each side. Then find your way back to your roll down pattern. We're going to do one from the parallel line, one from the turnout position, and then one from the parallel line again. Then back to our little pyramid step with the aeroplane arm. We're going to do one rotation towards the open side of the body, and then one rotation towards the closed side of the body. And then back to your original position to change sides and begin to find an alternating pattern. Find your rhythm, work with your breath. And we're shooting for between 3 to 4 complete sets. Work with control, not rushing, finding your rhythm. After your last one, find your way back to your parallel stand and use a roll down to find your way into a staff seat. So think roll down, bend your knees, find your way onto the haunches, and then maybe float the hands to the mat behind you and take a seat on the mat. We're going to sit up nice and tall, making sure that we are not stuck behind the bum bones. Legs are extended and just inside of hip width distance apart. We're going to try to keep them long and extended. You can use a small micro bend in the knees if the legs are really tight. We're going to assume a tall seat and float the arms out in front at shoulder height. We're going to tap fingers to floor and back 10 times, maintaining our tall seat, and our control line is at shoulder height. Keep the feet actively braced. End at shoulder height and float out into a T frame, tapping your fingers to the mat and back 10 times. End at shoulder height and rotate your forearms so that the palms are looking up. We're going to tap fingers overhead and back to open 10 times. Maintaining your tall seat throughout. Then relax fingers to floor, bend your knees, ground your feet, and find your way onto the elbows. Relaxing onto the forearms, we are going to extend the right leg and we'll work with a brace into the leg. We're going to use that pulling up action through the lower abs to bend the knee into table with a soft reaching toe and then extend to tap calf and heel to floor 10 times. End in the draw, hold it. Then ground to change sides. End in the draw, hold it. We're going to find our way from here into a supine position, lying on the back, arms long and heavy at your side as if you were preparing for a bridge work. Every time we come into tapping and lifting motions from this position, I want you to be very cognizant of where your big toe is on the mat when you're starting out. That's the position we're going to use for our first tap line. So beginning in your bridge-like setup, you're going to pull your big toe off the mat. You're going to draw one leg into table, and then you're going to tap back out, toe, and then rest of the foot. And we're going to begin to find an alternating, or you can think of it as a marching knee draw. Tapping big toe and then the rest of the foot down. Once you get the pattern going, start to notice what you're doing with the weight of your body and try to keep the weight of your shoulders, the weight of your sacrum pressing into the mat with equal force. Try not to roll your body weight to one side as one leg lifts into the table position and then regrounds. Let's do one more on either side, and then we'll come into some bridge work to take a rest. Keep your feet grounded and begin to articulate up into a bridge line, disconnecting your bum and your back line from the mat. At the height of the bridge, make your arms and your shoulders heavy into the mat and relax your chin towards your chest. You're going to lift all 10 toes and maybe the ball of your foot off the mat and relax back down 10 times. End of the toe lift, hold. Regrab the ball and the toes and peel back down to your original start position on the mat, being cognizant of where your big toe is. We're coming back into that draw, and this time we're going to do just a single toe tap. Actually, no, we're going to do 3 toe taps. My bad. So you're going to tap your big toe 3 times on one side and 3 on the second. Tapping more or less where your big toe was when it was grounded on the mat. And we'll call this position our first toe tap position, our near, as in near to bum position. Halfway, 5 more sets to go. Let's do one more full set. Then we'll come back into our working bridge line. Reground and articulate up into your bridge when you're ready. Lock the height of your bridge in and start to play with those toe and ball lifts. End of the lift, hold it. Weight resting on your heels. Reground and peel back down, finding your way to neutral. We're coming back into that toe tap position. Remember where your toe tap position 1 was. We're going to find 2 more distal points. So you're going to pull up to your tabletop line. You're going to tap once at your near point. Pull back up to table. This time tap a little bit further. We'll call that your midway point. Pull back to table and then furthest. So 1 near, 1 middle, 1 far. And you're going to start to find an alternating pattern. 3 taps on either side, each one progressively further from your bottom. Keeping the weight of your back pressing equally into the mat throughout. Find your rhythm. Focus on that weight on your back. Use those lower abs. We've got roughly 2 more sets to go. Last one. Find your way from here back into your bridge line, articulating up, and then playing with your toe and ball lifts. Hold your last lift. Peel back down, keeping your arms heavy at your side. Your home base this time is not feet on floor, but feet in table. But remember your near position where your big toes are. So we're going to pull into table, and we'll play with a single toe tap, alternating side to side. Keeping the weight of your back even. Find your way back to a bridge line, articulating up with care. Lock the height of your bridge in, and then start to play this time with an alternate with a heel lift, pulling up both heels and regrounding at the same time for roughly 10 repeats. And in the heel lift, hold it. Keep your heels off the mat and articulate back down. Only once your spine is in neutral do you release the heels. We're pulling back to our tabletop position. We're going to do 3 taps, all 3 in the near position on one side, and then 3 on the opposite side. We're playing with the near to bum line. Halfway. Find your way back to your bridge setup and articulate up into your bridge. Set the height of your bridge in and start to play with those heel lifts for 10. End in the heel lift, hold it. Keep your heels off the mat and articulate the spine back down. When you're in neutral, release the heels. Back to table. We're going to play with those 3 toe taps, 1 near, 1 mid, 1 far, alternating side to side. Make this your last set. Find your way back to your bridge setup. Peeling up. And then finding those heel lifts for 10. End in the heel lift, hold it. Keep the heels off the mat and articulate the spine back down. Take recovery. We're going to do a little superset of that last exercise that we did, but we're going to try to float the arms this time. Raise the arms up, palms looking into your knees, and make sure that your shoulders are anchored. Try to keep them anchored, so don't lift the shoulders off the mat as we play. You're going to float the legs back into table, and we're going to do 3 taps per side. 1 near, 1 mid, 1 far. Keep the weight of your back pressing into the mat with equal force. Make this your last set. Bleed back down. Actually, let's keep the hands floating like that. We're going to try to keep them in this floated position. We're going to bleed up into the bridge line, and we're going to play one toe lift, one heel lift, and we're going to alternate for 10. Reground, bleed back down, take recovery, and roll over onto your side. We're going to stack the body in one long line. Your bottom arm could be a long pillow, it could be a bent pillow, or you could have a small stack, whichever works for you. But body in one long line with your ankle, knee, and hip stacking directly behind your top shoulder. We're going to relax the top hand to the mat. The grounding position for your bottom leg is either on the floor, or to challenge yourself, you're going to hold a hovering position. We're going to tap once in front, jump the wall and tap once behind, and we're going to keep alternating, jumping the wall to tap front and back. We're going to end tapped behind. We're going to lift and squeeze back down, pretending that we're pressing the big toe into a tennis ball every time we tap, so that you're aware of the whole inseam of your working leg. Now come back to jumping the wall, tapping one in front, one behind. This time we're ending in front to tap and squeeze into that tennis ball. Then relax the legs down, bend the bottom leg, bend the top, reach for your foot and squeeze the top knee towards the bottom knee. At first, relax the quad of your top leg and try to tap heel to bum. Then start to relax the foot into your hand. Then add a small 12 o'clock tilt through your pelvis as if you were bringing your knee towards your belly button line, and hold. Let go of the foot and extend the top leg. You could reach from the inside of your thigh or your calf, or you could hold on to the foot if it's available and accessible, and take a modified A-line stretch. Then, keeping the bottom leg bent, you're going to bend the top leg and you're going to step in front of it. You're going to stagger your hands as you come up. So you're going to drop the top hand to the floor, and then you're going to find a staggered arm position looking towards the back end of your mat with a slight rotation through the trunk. You can think of this as a modified side cobra. Then try to keep your feet where they are. You could slide the bottom leg further away so that you've got space for your bottom. We're going to walk up. We're going to sit down on our floating bum. We're going to rotate towards the top knee, and we're going to take a small seated spinal twist, trying to ground as best we can through both bum bones. Then you're going to unravel your trunk. You're going to unravel your legs and you're going to float them to the opposite end of the mat. You're going to find your way onto the side of your body, stacking your body in one long line, making sure that your bottom leg is either grounding and staying on the mat or floating. You're going to start to jump the wall and tap one in front, one behind. We're going to end behind and we're going to squeeze into that tennis ball for 10. Back to jumping the wall for 10. This time we're ending in front to squeeze into that ball for 10. Then relax the legs into parallel bend. You're going to brush your hand down the chain of the top leg. We're going to squeeze top knee to bottom knee. We're going to relax the top quad and try to tap bum to heel. At this stage, your pelvis is in neutral. Then kick your foot away from your bottom and into your hand and add a small 12 o'clock tilt through the pelvis so that you're aware of the top quad and hip flexor. Then let go of that foot, extend the leg to the sky. You can reach from the inside, you can hold onto your calf, whichever feels good for you, and we're going to hold. Then we're going to keep that bottom leg bent. We're going to bend the top leg. We're going to try to take a step in front, grounded. You're going to find a staggered arm position, looking towards the front end of the mat. We're going to hold that slight half rotation to the trunk. Keep pulling your belly button gently into center. And then make space with your bottom leg, so slide it away from your bottom line, so that as you walk up, you've got enough space on the mat to float, or rather to ground your floating bum bone into the mat. Then twist towards your top knee, grabbing opposite hand to knee. Settle into your little twisted seat. From this twisted seated position, we're going to find our way into a standing straddle line on the mat, and we'll use the length of the mat. So you're going to unravel yourself. You're going to step out into a wide straddle line, taking it as wide as you can, either fingers to floor, or you can come into a tabletop stretch if the floor is not accessible. And we're going to take a little twist, alternating side to side. For roughly 5 repeats. Find your way back to the middle. Check that your feet are squared and your inner thighs turned on. Then find a slight turnout position from here. Think plie, start to bend the knees, peel up, relaxing your hands to the tops of your thighs. We're going to find an alternating heel lift, lifting and tapping the heel to the floor. Stay here or begin to double up. Hold. Peel back up, straightening the legs. Big breath in. We're going to circle the arms overhead, cross at the wrists, and we're going to trace 5 lazy circles. We're going to come down the center line in prayer on the last one, and we're going to heel toe in to a narrow position, squeezing the thighs and the ankles and the feet together. Big breath in. On an exhale, we're going to fold forward into table, and this is where we're going to end our tapping practice for today. Thank you so much for coming out and playing with me today. Till next time, keep it light.